So the big competition has begun. It literally started 8 minutes ago. So guys, big competition this month. Ultimately, it is time. It is time for us to come together throughout of August and see what we got. Now, guys, there is obviously the biggest competition. You still have time to register at the moment if you want to join. But I want to welcome you to the Whale Room. This is going to be a place where we're going to be trading throughout this whole month. You know, I got my normal shows and then I got the trading shows. And this ultimately is the Whale Room. This is where you're going to see many of hosts. We're going to have many different guests jumping on, giving their different views, and basically see how well we can do in this competition. Now, it's not just about competition. It's about people making money throughout August. Yes, we have a competition. And it's there to rate ourselves, see what we can do out there in the markets. But ultimately, it's for me to really jump into strategies and make sure that our trading tools and our techniques are getting ready for the bull market. End of the day, we've had many different months of bear to learn all of the different ways and different tools that we could use. And we know bull market comes at any single moment. And end of the day, when the bull market comes, it's time to make money. You don't have much time to learn. You don't have much time to prepare anymore. So be very grateful for the bear market. Be very grateful for all the time that you've gotten to educate. And I think this is going to be one of the best months for you to learn and understand crypto. You're going to have us all trading. You're going to have my accounts. You're going to have everything tracked. You're going to have the whole entire Banter squad trading. My goal is to get some of the best performers out of Banter and get them onto the shows. We're going to have many different big guests. We got one over here, MDX. Say what's up, brother?
What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
What's happening? I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. He's brought alpha. I'm going to bring you back now. So we got MDX jumping on, giving his views of the market. So again, today we're going to go through the quick market update, see where Bitcoin's at. And then I'm going to be looking at the top 3 trades that I'm looking at doing. And then secondly, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be explaining the best strategies to use within this market. Competition or not, you need to know these things. You need to understand that every single month you need a strategy to make money. Every single week you need a strategy to make money. You have to understand that it all comes down to pre-planning. Everyone thinks it's technical analysis. Everyone thinks it's these things that make you money. No, it's not. It's about understanding how you're going to make money, having a proper structure and rule system in order to do so. So this is going to be one of the best learning months for you. And this is going to be a fantastic month for us to get things rolling. Guys, big show. No more wasting time. Let's get into it.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗄. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗄. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
So fam, hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're refreshed and you're ready. I chose to not trade this weekend, get my brain into the understanding that it's basically competition time. You know, many athletes will prepare for a big fight or a big football match or a big race, and we're going to treat it the exact same. There's times to perform and there's times to relax. And I think now it's a time for us to get rid of the nerves and to get ourselves going. So again, guys, biggest competition, go below and register if you want to join. If we do get another 20 people on the stream, I will give away an iPhone for anyone that has joined. To get your iPhone, you have to be using one of the Banter links, and you got to be a part of our squad. So I'll be giving away an iPhone. Guys, this is the time. It's the time for you to rate yourself against yourself. Yes, there's a big prize, $8 million, but at the end of the day, we want you to make money this month. And if you're chasing for the top, great, go for it. But if you also just want to have a team that's going to help you understand trading and be a part of it, use this month to really get going and get yourself moving and no longer be afraid. So therefore, next topic, if you go below, sign up for Sniper School, because what that basically means is you get the whole course, you get all of that involved. But what you also have is every day, 3 hours from now, there's another private stream for this competition where you get to track my whole portfolio, you get to track all these things, and it's a lot more personalized. So if you're struggling, we can bring you up, we can help you, see where you're going wrong. So join Sniper School, go below, cohort 8 starts in the next few weeks. Okay, let's quickly have a look. We've started already. Someone's already on 26%. So guys, the way it is, if you go above over here, you will see that the competition has now begun, and then you got a squad. So end of the day, the way it works is the squad. We want a rating of the squad. I think there's, we'll see how many squads that they are involved, but end of the day, we want to be first. That's the big goal. And anyone that's in the top 10 of that will be getting a big part of the prize money that comes through that. And now it's time. I think overall squad, 2,000 squads. We're sitting at 300 at the moment. Okay, I think let's quickly jump into the market before we jump into any trades and get a little bit of understanding. For this, I will bring up the main man. I know he's here and he's ready his time. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to look at some charts.
Where are you, bro? Where are you?
In Cyprus, man. This is a real background. Everyone's like, is it a fake background? It's reality. It's the real world. I'm not sitting in my basement like all these 21-year-old kids. This is the real world. Cyprus behind me, brother.
Amazing, amazing. And how's things been? It's been a while. How's this market treating you? It's the most boring market that I've seen in a very long time. And I'd love to know where your thoughts are at the moment of where this market is emotionally. Is this the depression phase?
Yeah,
is this the non-interest phase? Like, what's your thoughts?
I think we're in the lull phase, just after, very similar to when we had the COVID crash in 2019. We had the summer. It was very flat. I think we're in that phase. We're in an equalization phase. So we've had a big bull market, a big bear market. Now we're just kind of moving into the middle equalization of those two price points, 69K and 15.8. I also think that, you know, there is still opportunity. I did a video at the start of the year and I was saying that I think Bitcoin's going to have a rally off the lows to 30,000. I think you were in that camp as well. You know, everyone in the community thought, you know, 30K was going to be that main area of resistance. We've pretty much done that to the T. Everyone's getting all bullish about CPI numbers and all the experts are getting it wrong. I love to see it when the experts all get it wrong because, you know, we're probably going to stay below 30 for a little bit longer. And that would be a little bit in terms of the time frames, probably another few months, depending on if we break trend. And look at NASDAQ, look at SPX. I was calling for a rally in SPX start of the year. Everyone was calling me a nutter, calling me crazy, saying I'm stupid. Look where we're at. Look where we are. We're literally retesting all-time highs. But there is potentially a pullback coming, maybe a 786, maybe a 618 on traditional SPX. So that probably will have an effect on Bitcoin, and we got to look at that. And
yeah. So that's been flying. Obviously, that's really been flying at the moment, and that's been my one concern. You know what I mean? Crypto didn't do much in that time. And what happens if that pulls back hard? So I would love to get your thoughts on this quickly at the moment. So what we obviously had in 2017, you know, big run, went off into quite a bit of a bear market. And then what we had just after that, we had like a bear rally, if you may call it, bear rally that made its way up. And what's quite crazy is where this time frame over here of where this little rally has come is in the exact same time frame, even the exact same dates. As you could see in the beginning of January over here, on the 1st of Jan over here, we started to rally up. Here we go. Literally from the 1st of January, we started to rally up.
Weaker as well.
Now,
it's a lot weaker this time.
Exactly. And then what happened was in that time over there in 2019, you know, we ended up getting a local top in the area of July. And you now go look at the exact same dates, and now we have some sort of little top over here. And I think the big question is there this phase over here to come?
Yes.
Is it a phase on the charts? And also when it comes to the emotion cycle, is this needed? So the first question I have here for you, is this needed, a depression phase? Now, the way I put a depression phase in is like that last sort of run of getting rid of junk before the market can restart and get back to its sort of way. And the way that happens is not much interest in the market, not much new money in the market. And therefore, a lot of these projects that have raised funds, you know, I actually spoke to a few projects. They're running out of funds. And they're trying to collect more. They're trying to build up more at the moment, but there's just no interest and no money in the market. So do you think that a phase like this, firstly, is needed right now? Do you still feel there's junk in the market at the moment? And do you think that this long phase, because if I look at this over here, it's basically indicating, you know, we could be running down or in this depression phase for the next 3 to 6 months. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that emotionally and chart-wise. Do you think we're going to respect the same thing? Because so far, time-wise, it's doing the exact same thing. And was this a bear
Yeah.
rally and there's depression still to come? Or
Yeah,
how
so-
did they screw us this time? Do they send it early? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So just think about markets as like pressure, right? And nature. It's an equalization. You know, you have a massive bullish phase to 20K. So if you go back to that previous price action, the first bull market, to $20,000, then back down to 3K, what the market's done is just equalized in the middle. So there's not an excess amount of buyers, there's not an excess amount of sellers. It's just meeting in the middle where the buyers and sellers are almost in the battleground. No one's going forward or backwards, right? It's an equalization. You see it in hundreds and hundreds of instances in charts. It's just basically the market coming to an equalization, a compression. And I think you're exactly right. And I actually do agree with you that I do think we have longer to go. I don't think we're going to have this crazy bull market everybody thinks to all-time new highs. I would say one thing, though, institutions have gone from 7% to 9% of the market owned. So institutions own now 9.2% of the Bitcoin supply. That's actually an increase of 2.2%, which is really interesting. I'll go into that later, but I do think Bitcoin has been a little bit lacklustered. It hasn't had that juicy spring, which we had through the bear market rally you talked about in 2019. And that is a perfect bear market rally. A lot of people, the problem is about bear market rallies is they don't know. What they do is as a bear market rally is happening, they begin to believe it's a bull market throughout the bear market rally. You can't not have a bear market rally after a bear market because it's the first rally from a bear market. So there's no confirmation that it's a bull market. It has to be a bear market rally. So what we're saying here is if we do hold trend and we do go to 48K, even if we went to $48,000, it still could be a bear market rally. The whole thing this year is bear market rally. The next step will be, where do we find support? If we find support at a higher low from, let's say, I don't think we're going to do the lows again. I actually don't. I think only a black swan will make that happen. If we make a higher low above 15.8, that's going to be the spring to then say this is now a juicy motherfucking, I'll swear, sorry legends for swearing, but then that's the next bull market we're going to be looking at, man, for Bitcoin. For
No,
sure.
it's interesting because last time, and I agree with you to say that this time's a little bit weaker. You know, this time, this is the bear rally. It is weaker than the last one. And last time we did go to 618 before we started the depression phase.
And we've done a wave count as well.
The same
waves. We've done a wave count as well. So we've done a 5-wave up, and that's another concerning thing for the bulls, I'd say.
Exactly. So is there a correction wave coming? And if you look at this 618, this is sitting at 50K. Technically, it's saying if we follow the last two systems in play, Bitcoin should have went to at least 40, 50K before we started the depression phase. And it's a little bit concerning that we stopped around 30,000. Now, obviously, this is a big resistance.
Look at the price cycle as well. So if you go on a longer term chart, it doesn't have to go to the 618 retracement because in other cycles it hasn't done that. The 2014 to 17-ish, that one back in the day, we never did any 618 bear market rally. We actually did it's called an oval base bear market where we actually hit a low, we retested the high of the low, came back down, and it's almost like a cup and handle, but slightly more bearish. But I agree with you. It's definitely less juicy this time around. I do think that's because of just generally the market as a whole. Right after what we've had through inflation, people just don't have as much money in retail. I just believe that that's just the case. That's a fundamental thing. But I just believe that the cost of living crisis, they call it in the UK, has had an effect on retail. That's why I'm interested in the institutional base. I'll show you a chart in a minute of the institutions, but they're up 2.2% in 2 months. So this is actually really interesting. And I said at the start of the year, if we get to 14% institutionally owned Bitcoin, then that could be 48, 50. Because guess what? 14% off the books at that point. And institutions aren't going to sell. That's a big amount of money. And Michael Saylor ain't stopping and he's not selling forever. So, the supply and demand really comes into that.
Yeah, it just keeps, it's crazy how every time he buys, it's a local top. the short time frame top.
It's a good contrarian indicator. Yeah, you're a good guy.
Yeah. So just before we bring your charts up, I think for me, last little thing that I want to just get your opinion on is the previous bull market that we had. We obviously had this crazy rally to the upside. And then we ended up around 20K. There was a quick dump in the week that went to 11,000 very quickly. And then what they did is they went up. We ended up getting a lower high when things come and things started to move. This time around, they slightly tricked the markets, right? They did the exact same thing. The only difference is this time they just popped its head through as a higher high. Therefore, everyone 100K. They just changed it slightly. And therefore, for me, what I believe is every bull market, they change something slightly just to get you off guard, because everyone's waiting for halving, right? Everyone's waiting for the same thing that's happened every single time. And in order to catch retail and to catch them, they got to play a small little trick card at some point, and that sort of play. And I think for me is what could be the trick point this time that they could slightly change, because this caught everyone off guard. This literally caught everyone off guard. And the only thing that makes sense to me is the timing this time. What happens if they send it early or send it later? Will that not play a big role? Because now a lot of people are very conservative. They're worried about everything. They're not getting so much into the market. They're a bit worried. And what happens if they sent it earlier this time? That will catch everyone off guard, right?
I'd say one thing to your point. I'd say this. You know, what if, what could, what might? All these things aren't quantifiable. Okay, so there's no point even thinking like this might happen or that could happen or this. It's all bullshit. You don't need to think like that. Just think about objective truths. Things that you can see on the chart, which mean you have an entry, an exit, or an inflection. Okay, that's all we can do, because you can sit here and we can talk about this all fucking day. We can say, you know, what happens if China does this or Mt. Gox does that? It's not quantifiable. The news is not what determines the price. The price is what determines the news. So we need to look at price action first. But I get what you're saying. And I would say that sometimes having some sort of idea about what might be happening could allow you to get an edge through a contrarian indication or a contrarian strategy. Because if everyone's calling for this thing to happen, guess what? It's not going to happen. We know through history, especially long to short ratio, which I love. Look, I actually built a model with an institutional grade trader from Ukraine a few years ago, about 5 years ago actually now. And we actually had a model which showed the long to short ratio and the price action. And it's just absolutely hilarious, because when everybody gets long, it goes the other way, and everyone gets short, it goes the other way. So it's a beautiful synergy between the book, the order books, and also what people are doing in terms of on their buying and selling. So it's really interesting, man. But yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Do you want to maybe pop up some charts? I'd love to know what you're looking at right now to indicate this possibly we start of that big push. Like what are you looking at to see that? And what are you thinking that, okay, maybe we do still go to 50 before we start the pressure? So I'd love to know your thoughts on it.
Whip up my charts. Are my charts up? Let's have a look what we got here, legends.
Let's have a look. So there we go. Yeah, we got you. Right? We can see your charts.
I'll keep it real simple. So there's two ways you can look at the charts, especially for this competition. And for this competition on Bybit, I'm not participating in it because generally speaking, I'm taking a step back the last few months. But there's two ways you can look at this. You can do the medium term stuff, or you can go into the scalp. And I would say probably the best thing to do right now is look at the scalp stuff. You can do SR strategies. You can use Bollinger Bands. I actually have an indicator we built which gives you percentages, etc. So I'll go into two different things here. But on the time, like, you know, just Bitcoin in general, right? Start of the year, we're all calling for a nice bear market rally. We've got a very nice bear market rally. We've hit the lows. We're all calling for this on my channel. You know, I was saying that I think we're going to go to $30,000. Look where we came to, that 30K resistance zone. It's pretty simple stuff. You know, we've got a 200-day moving average coming up like this. We've got this trend line coming like that. I do actually think on the short term, in terms of traders, there is a chance here that I do think we could get a pop to the upside. I actually do have a trade open right now for I was doing on my Twitter, just showing that I do think there's a long here. For a short-term position, okay? But I would say that short-term position would be invalid.
Obviously, super important to get a higher high on that push, right? It's probably one of the last lines of getting through that level.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that, because I don't think we get it. I actually do see on the monthly time frame, which I did a video the other day, we have stochastic RSI overbought. And look, there is previous data which shows that this can stay up here, but I do think this is going to be a cooling off period for Bitcoin. But
if you go slightly to the left there, just while you're on that stochastic, did you see the market only took off once it got above 85? So go to the right, look exactly that. Look at price. So we entered the overbought, overbought territory, but look how bull market only started when it got to the top.
Exactly. And this is one price act. Let me show you something quite interesting as well, because you know, right now, the inflection point is obviously quite simple. This trend is the 200-day moving average, which is a blue line. You probably can't see it. There's this trend line. So it's pretty simple. You know, I think we come up a little bit off this. And really, all we can do right now is say, will this trend break? If we do lose this orange, these two yellow lines, the reason I'm taking the trade is that we have massive buy pressure off this level. We have massive buy pressure off this level again and again. Okay, so we have 3 instances of the order book being filled with buyers, and actually, you know, pretty significantly. So we've broken through it decisively. We know SR strategies. We know support turns to resistance and resistance turns to support. So it's very simple. You know, I'm not trying to make this like difficult for anyone to understand. I'm just literally like looking at history and just playing a very, very basic strategy. I think there is a bounce to be made. Whether we come down a little bit further, there will be another opportunity. I think there's a long here. If you get stopped out, there's a long here as well. These two trades are good for your community because what you're doing is you're mitigating risk with logical entry, okay? So you can have your stop loss here underneath the wicks, and you can have your stop loss underneath the trend. So there's two bounce trades, okay, here, which is very, very nice because it means your P&L is not going to get wrecked if it does go against you. We have to be obviously looking in the competition for your legends. You don't want to have some guy with minus 10,000% to drag the whole everybody down. So I'd say there's two trades here. If it does break trend, I think it's very likely we're going to come to around 20. Let me look at that, 25, which is where we hit some trades before. And I do actually think there'll be another
just
trade.
Before you speak about those levels, what are we looking for? Because right now we're still holding 20, 29 sort of area. And for me, this is a temporary area of bounce. But what are we looking for to see that there's interest there? And we shouldn't rather wait for maybe the 28. You know what I mean? You spoke about the two scenarios. How are you sort of tracking that to see, are we going to maybe like, do we wait for the 28 or, you know, this should be the area we're going? Like how would you track that? Would you basically just wedge it up?
Yeah.
What would you be using? Like, we need interest. That's the big thing for me, seeing interest of some higher time frame volume, higher time frame indications, you know, something to give us that view. Otherwise, it is possibly better to be waiting for the lower zones.
I don't look at volume. I look at volume sometimes, but I don't look at volume generally because I don't actually believe it gives you an edge on any level, okay? What I'm looking for is price action. And I've been a price action trader for many years. I have lots of other strategies. I look at sentiment, look at long to short ratio, look at all these things. And I'll go into that in a second. But to be very clear, the price action, how it looks and the structure of it is what you're seeing. That is the interest. If it looks like people are buying it and you have a higher low and you have this and that and you have double bottoms, etc., that is the interest. I would say here, very simple, you have two levels here and here, which have been significantly bought in the past, okay? And they're very, very significant areas of support. We have also got this nice move of price action here. So you could look at the volume, whatever you can do. Like when you see that, that means people are buying, okay? What you've seen actually as well with this move is that it's managed to come up to this level multiple times, okay? So you see this being tagged. We've had a go at getting there. I would say that if you did draw a trend line, which I don't think is, I don't have it on the screen right now, but if you did draw a trend line, what you're really waiting for is this last high here to get broken. As soon as you get that, maybe get
what range is that? Is that the 30,400 level?
Yeah, so right now we're between 29,800 and between 30,200. So
exactly. So for me, I feel there's more selling pressure at 30,200 than the 31.5. I kind of feel that they already held that level. They already held the top one and they've moved down. And therefore, I feel that that's the zone to get through. I honestly believe if we turn that into support, I do think we crack the 31.5. I feel that wall on the top there is not as strong as what it used to, and they've moved it down. And now they're trying to really crunch down.
It's either that we get and a pop up, and then potentially to the highs. And if we do break the highs, we could see a big, you know, next phase higher. Or
what would your targets be if that happened? What would you think? Let's say we do get through 31.5. Just so we can get a little bit of understanding of the bearishness and the bullishness for the month. You know what I mean? Because therefore, if you got some killer entries and killer trades and we do break 31.5, you know, you may trade 2 trades of this whole competition and do incredible. You know, it all comes down to when to ride your wins and cut your losses. So what's your thoughts on that if we do get through that zone?
No, that's great advice. You can be a trader who loses 9 out of 10 trades, and that one trade makes you everything. So it's very, very, very good advice. But I'd say that we got 32,000, which is going to be resistance as well if we break the highs. And I actually do think we could see an extension up to 39. Let me just get my numbers right. 39.5 to 41. And then we have the golden area of the retracement, which we were talking about before. And I do think it's still on the cards, legends. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this isn't possible to get a golden retracement up to here. Obviously, it's small lines, but it's still possible. We've seen in history it's happened, but we can't play these ideas in the future. We have to just play day by day and look at we have to look at the reality of the situation, okay? And the reality is I don't know whether this is going to hold or not. But in my book, looking at what I'm saying, we've come to an SR strategy, very simple. I think the probability is high that we get a bounce. Also, when you look at long to short ratio, let me whip this up for you. We do still have on the books, 66% of this market is looking at longs. So this is going to be a short term.
Oh, wow. Really? The market's still bullish, huh?
Yeah. So of course, bro, like we're at the top. This is why I've been saying to a lot of people recently, like, I don't think this is going to be, we're going to break break $30,000. We're 66% long on Binance, which is retail traders. We've actually made, this is MDXalgo.com, but Binance top traders, and Bybit both, okay? So you can see there's a divergence here between the top traders on Binance and the retail traders. The retail traders are more long. This is a big, juicy gap for exchanges. Let's not go into it because it's not quantifiable, but there is an incentive on some level for exchanges to close that gap. Okay. So when you look at the price action, right, a lot of people have been saying to me, but why don't we just continue this trend and go higher? I think it's unlikely. I think we get a pop up, which gets this to 70%, and we get to 70% longs. And then I actually do think that likely we're going to come back down.
Big liquidation.
Yeah, that's
liquidation
what I
hunt.
think. I don't think we've got the fuel to get above this yet. I do think also when you look at traditional markets, and like I've been talking about this from the start of the year. If you watch my Twitter, you would know about this. I was saying that this is a real. I was saying here when Bitcoin found support here that I think we're going to go to 4,400 and retest the all-time highs potentially. And then the reason I was saying that is because we made a massive higher low. All we had to do was hold trend, and that's what we did. The thing is, right now, the first 6 months of this year has been great. We've done it. We've had this massive euphoric rally, and now we are coming to resistance bang on where we were targeting. If this does want to come lower, guys, and if you just do a nice little fib on this, I'm not going to make it complicated because there's no point. We could come all the way back down to these levels, all the way back down into trend, all the way back even further. Because obviously, you know, fear can get pretty exacerbated, especially.
So that's what's worrying me. That's what's worrying me is that chart over there. That seems very overheated right now.
We can capitalize on this. We can really capitalize on this because this is slow motion motherfucking trading. This is like the SPX is such a walk in the park in compared to crypto and Bitcoin. So we can really use this. I think this next level here is the level to watch out for on this, right? So this level here, we've actually got a nice. I think we'll find some support on it. But if we do get a lower high, right? So we come up here, we get a lower high like that, and we start carving out some sort of descending formation. If we do get a drop on it, it's going to be really juicy for Bitcoin because this trend line is going to break, and we're going to see a really, really nice potential move for either buying the dip, which a lot of guys do, or shorting the market. And I think the short will be this. We'll have a pop up here. This is what I'm doing in my trading. If I don't get
just to throw a spanner in the works there, if I look at this year. Every time stock markets went down, Bitcoin went up, right? Every time it was the reversal, stock markets going up, Bitcoin came down. That's what this year has actually been showing. You know, the first 3 months of the year, Bitcoin is one of the biggest growing assets of the year, yet the whole... What would you say percentage-wise, best scenario, stock markets gets hammered and Bitcoin breaks that range to the upside? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are we still in that phase where Bitcoin follows the stock markets? What's your thoughts on that? Because looking at this year so far, it hasn't really. You know, stock market's been rallying up now for the last few weeks and Bitcoin's been sitting flat. And then if you look at the beginning of the year, stock markets were getting a little bit hammered and Bitcoin was rallying. So what's your thoughts on that? Are we finally maybe decoupling, or is it a shorter time frame? Do you think we're always just going to respect the bigger money?
Yeah, so this is how I quantify it in my mind, because it's a difficult question and no one has the ultimate answer. But the thing is, if you have a time period of exacerbated fear or greed, the markets generally like to huddle together. You know, it's like, strength in numbers. Okay, so herd mentality means that people huddle together when they're either really scared or really, really greedy. That's kind of what human beings do. So I'd say that if there is an extremely fearful event, which makes the market crash, Bitcoin will more likely, there's a higher likelihood that it will be correlated to that because of herd mentality, which we're built into as human beings. So it's a good question, but I would say it's not really quantifiable. I like to talk about these things, but the main thing I like to talk about is the price action, because the price action is the reality of the situation. There's no reality gap with price action. So, you know, when people come up and say to me, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about that idea? I say, I don't really know. I can give you my hunch and my ideas, but I don't really know. All I know is that we have some defined levels on the chart. This level here, I'm buying it because of previous support. That's it. I'm not looking at anything else. If you want to go into stochastic RSI and RSI, you could say we have something happening here in terms of bullish divergence, but it's a little bit wishy-washy. I think there's a bounce. If we break trend, I do think that this level is the line in the sand. I think 25 gets hit. There's a trade to be played for a bounce at 25. If we then can't get above trend, I think we're going significantly lower to $20,000. But like I said again, a lot of people look for these, like, you know, these ideas and these things in the future, and they go for these news stories which are like, this is what's going to happen, this is what is going to have an effect on the price action. Really steer clear away from that, and don't try and pinpoint things in news or events that are the reason for things, because otherwise you're going to get yourself into this mindset where you keep needing a reason for things to happen. But the markets are irrational, and you cannot quantify into one news story what price action does. It's completely chaotic. So don't be like, oh, no, this is
amazing. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think my side, it's looking at all the options and being prepared for either that goes. You got any altcoins, brother? Before I jump into all what's your thoughts? You see any trades available? The community we've just begun. So let me know what you think.
Let me tell you, community as well. If you want to make some money in this market right now, I'd say scalping is the best thing to do. Just grab up some charts like this. use some exhaustion points, use some Bollinger Bands, use some probability calculators and momentum, and just scalp in and out of the range, because likelihood...
Take profits. A lot of people are holding trades for too long, and I'm included in that. And I think for me,
you see here,
it's consistency.
Like you know what you said before? We've got this nice area of resistance up here. That would have been a nice trade there to come out of it. We've got support coming in down here as well. Also, you're outside of the band, you're outside of the bands. If you just have a criteria of 3 or 4 things where you say if you're outside the band, you've got an exhaustion signature, you're coming to resistance, the probability calculator is saying negative, you can put yourself in a position where you can just put it in a spreadsheet. 4 things are lining up, you take the short. 5 things are lining up, you take the long. And you can do this with MDXAlgo. Just go on MDXAlgo.com. This is literally like pretty much you can get this from a website to use. But let me go into some altcoins for you, brother. So
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you love it, man. You're a DJ and you love the alts, brother.
We're DJs. I want to trade, brother. So personally, I'm in a short term. Personally, just to get the rust off, I did take a short term little long on Solana. I'd love to know your thoughts on Solana if you do have it there. Before you jump into your, give me your thoughts. It obviously rallied to 32, and for me, it's like, is there going to be a test of 618, maybe around 27? Like if Bitcoin does have that little push, we should get a 618 test, possibly from Solana. What are your thoughts right now on Solana? I still feel it's one of the stronger coins, but I'd love to know your thoughts.
Looking at price action on the daily, I think you're right. I think this is one of the stronger coins. I think actually it's made a nice, concise high low here. We've also got this area of resistance, which it does need to get through. This whole pocket here, when it rallied, came back down. This whole area, you can see really clearly on this chart. Just draw the high on. It's just completely stopped in all of this buying and selling pressure, okay? So I think Solana probably could come down to trend, actually. I don't think this is great. I think that actually this price action will probably end up looking similar to Bitcoin. I think, you know, if Bitcoin does get the push, it's a lower high and then we come back down later. I think that's probably...
Which is a pretty good move, right? Because that's basically back to the areas of possibly 27, 28. It's pretty good move.
Roughly, and I'm not doing this completely going down the whole levels. You could say that this is looking like a flag. Okay, this is a channel coming off. We've got a flagpole here. We've got a channel coming down. Actually, it looks like it's pincering in a little bit. This is very rough. But I would say that this is more likely to come for a pop to the upside to retest the highs, and I think actually it'll be a failure. So I think there could be some scalps to the upside like Bitcoin. Ultimately,
so would you just wedge that last little bit over there, and basically for me, break wedge, stop loss on a previous low, and that should be the time to shine, right? If not, it's a fake out and death.
It's this prior wick here and this level here. If it breaks that, we're going to come down to trend on Solana. But I think Solana is a pretty good play. It's actually one of the better charts, even though it's the biggest shitcoin ever known in history. It's still a good chart. Yeah, well, you know what I like. You know, at the end of the day, Solana is basically freaking EOS on steroids. But let's just stick to price action. ADA's a lot weaker. ADA's a lot weaker than that, actually. So
yeah, Cardano is terrible.
I got a great long on ADA here. It was 4 a.m. in the morning, and I was still awake doing my degen lifestyle on alts. I actually bought, and this is kind of, obviously, if anyone knows my history, I've been the guy who's hated ADA from the beginning for its fundamentals, but I took a massive trade on ADA, and I'm really done this has been an incredible trade for me for this bear market. We were actually at the top, we did about 55% on that trade, because I didn't get in at the very low of the wick, but I'm actually in quite a big long on ADA. And I do think ADA on the medium to long term is actually a very, very constructive chart, and I do think that the low could be in. Looking at this as well, it's likely it's going to make a higher low. So I do think there's longs on ADA. And I think overall, right, that if you, there's actually a bit of analysis I used to do. If something drops 40% or more in less than 1 week in crypto, just do a back-tested strategy saying, where are you in 6 months after it drops 40% in less than a week? It's very, very unlikely that you're not going to be in profit if you buy those lows. So in my analysis and what I look at, I think ADA's a good trade. And I'm already in a trade, but I would say that if you were going to get in, you know, I think we're looking at higher lows here. XRP.
What other ones are you? Yeah, XRP. So it's nearly back down to those areas. You know, it's been quite intriguing. It's been a fun coin to actually trade recently.
I did get short, but I took profit too early. The problem is about trading. Okay, I won't go into that because I can talk about this for hours, but you got to pick your battles very wisely. And sometimes when you get into positions, you just don't want to monitor them, and that's fine. So I had a short on it, but I took profit already on it. The thing about XRP, you know, it's got actually one of the better structures in crypto. And like, obviously it pains me to say that because, We all know that we hate XRP for its fundamentals, but
yeah.
we got to split these two things separately. It's technicals and fundamentals are completely different. Technicals come first because you can be a trader and an investor. With technicals, you can't be a trader with fundamentals, only an investor with fundamentals. So you have to be only looking at charts. Don't waste your time and energy. Just look at the charts. So this is actually one of the better charts in crypto. This is likely going to be a pretty juicy long from this level here. This is the top of an ascending formation. It's actually just so obvious to buy this, guys. I'd actually front run it and buy it early. I think this will be very likely going to get a bounce off this on. I might get a wick through it, but it's very likely going to get a bounce on XRP on this. And I do think that could be a good trade for your community to take. Easy stop loss. Either you go down here or you even be more aggressive. I think you're likely going to get a bounce, and it could even go lower high. And then you got the whole thing back down, and then
that's a big move. It's a big move if that plays out. Yeah. It's a decent move.
Oh yeah.
So what are any of your other ones you've highlighted there? One more for me that I'm tracking quite a bit is for this competition at the moment for the first week. I have chosen Solana and Doge as my two coins to sort of switch through at the moment. What's your thoughts on Doge?
Tell me your thesis on Doge right now.
So for me, Doge broke a very long sort of trend and very much at the bottom range. But ultimately for me, I'm sort of at that point where there's that quick move that comes out of Doge quite often. It's usually a tweet. It's usually anything like that. It's sort of coiled up at the moment where it's right there by 200 daily MA again. So obviously I want to make sure we get through that again. But for me, it's giving me a 10% range. So it's not about where it goes now. It's offering me 10% on an 8-hour chart at least once to twice a week. And that's what I like at the moment. I'm not really choosing a up or down. It's basically offering me every push to the upside on a 8-hour reset, giving me around 10%, and push on downsides, giving me on an average 10%. So for me, it's more about it's a consistent coin to trade at the moment, because I'm just looking at 10x, 10% moves. And if I can double my money 5 times, I'm at a 3,000 PNL. And that's the way I'm sort of thinking it. I'm thinking about it that I'm not having expectations of this market to go full bull now, but I am looking for the token that I can just have respected levels of a nice percentage move that I can just trade consistently instead of worrying about how big it's going to go or anything like that. I just like the range that it's in at the moment and how it's sort of respecting levels.
Also, you got to remember as well, from the low to this high, that's a 200% move, okay? 200% move. You got to remember, Bitcoin right now, if it does 200%, we're going to be looking at all-time highs, blue sky breakout, going into like literally $180,000. It's going to be crazy. So I did take a long on Dogecoin when it dropped. When we had the big SEC announcement, I went and bought hundreds of $1,000s worth of altcoins because I thought that actually, look what we've got, guys. We've literally come off the lows. If you bought Doge on these wicks, we're looking at a 50% move. And Dogecoin to go to its local top, its local high, is 200%. Bitcoin to its local high is literally going to be something like 100 and let me have a quick look. It's going to be less, actually. Let me quickly get you the local high. So think about Dogecoin 200%. You're only going to be really tripling your money on this. Let's just say we are from here. You're looking at 135%. So think about that divergence between Dogecoin going to its local top, not its all-time high, its local top is a 200% move. Bitcoin's got to go to all-time high to get 135. So you got to really think about altcoins at the moment. With that SEC announcement where they hammered the Binance guys, it's an incredibly good opportunity to buy altcoins, especially Dogecoin, because it wasn't even ruled as a security. So, that's where you got to think about, taking advantage of those crazy irrational trades people made by selling all their altcoins. Because remember, Binance is only 2% of the market anyway, in terms of the US market. So yeah, I think Dogecoin, all these ones you're looking at are really good. Shiba, I'm a little bit on the side with it. But I don't know if you're into...
So I got a lot to go through here, brother. For you, just to give some, maybe not some advice, but a little bit of a rules. Like, what would you say for someone that's training this competition now? What would you say your best tips are for them? You know what I mean? Like rules, consistency, slow down to speed up. Like how would you say they should take this at the moment and be consistent? A lot of people go in too hot. They get used to that. So they'll go in hot, they'll do well, and then they blow up later. And we've seen that many times within that. So what's your biggest way for someone that's going to take this seriously and they want to have a really good month of trading, especially in the current market?
Good. Yeah. So the main thing to do is not to change anything. Don't think you're in a competition. But the problem is about competitions, they're not really, you know, they're great to participate in because they're great fun and you have a community and you can play trades with each other and you can make money together. I understand that. But the thing about competitions, you got to be really careful because you're in a competition doesn't mean you trade any differently. You trade exactly the same as what you've done in the past, which is successful. You don't want to feel like you're under pressure. You don't want to rush things. You don't want to feel these things. You need to actually have the ability to say no and not take any of those things and just trade normally and almost like don't even believe that you are in a competition. Just be very, very calm. I would say also for this trading competition right now, I would say you have 2 accounts. You put one account with whatever amount of money you've got in it with 75% of that money, and you put another account with 33, let's just say 70-30, and you trade scalping with that 30% account. On lower time frames, I'd say that you just look at like, you know, 1 minute to 5 minute to 15-minute time frames, and you scalp with Bollinger Bands, etc., like little reversal points. And then I think the 70% goes into a more, let's just say, a higher time frame on this specific example, like a 1 hour to 4 hour.
Conservative.
Yeah. And you play the longs, and then you definitely play longs instead of shorts right now. And then you hedge against yourself, okay? Because obviously you want to be making sure that if you do get into a medium long, you can hedge against that. And that's what I do. I actually have an exchange I built called 𝗷𝗏𝗏𝗕𝗓, and that's exactly the reason I built it, is so I can have my exchange Bybit or another exchange. I can use 𝗷𝗏𝗏𝗕𝗓 on desktop and hedge against my Bybit portfolio, but with a decentralized option. So in essence, I can take profit. So I'd say be really careful with that and have fun, really. And don't get fucking
wrecked, my brother.
Chill.
Yeah, don't get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. I appreciate it, brother. I'd love to get you on more of these. So let me know. I'll get your calendar and get where you want to be involved, and let's do it. Mate, just open your Bybit accounts. Just join my team and let's go, bro.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Come join. Just put in $500. $500. $500,
you want to get those fees? No, I'll think about it.
No. Keep your link. Keep your link. That doesn't matter. But come join the team, bro. Let's go.
No, but I honestly will think about it because at the end of the day, I've got a lot of time right now. Because I am taking a break. I am working on other businesses. So you can
remember
get my
with
fees,
the break.
Baby.
You remember with the break.
Your link, man.
You remember with the break. It creates rust. It creates rust.
Whale on your link, bro.
Cool, my brother. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Cool, guys. Go follow MDX. Go below. We'll put his Twitter in the description over there. Go have a look. So as you can see with Whaleroom, we're going to bring a lot of different people on, different mindsets. But now I have a lot to teach you guys. I have a lot to show at the moment. So the first thing I'm going to show you over here is I have taken a small little Solana long at the moment. Now, it's very important to explain, you know, how you're basically pre-planning and, you know, understanding how you're going to trade this competition. Competition or not, I want you, again, to take this month seriously and to learn how the pre-planning is what creates your success. So the way is I looked at this and I've seen a few of the competitions before, and I see a lot of people go in really hot and they get blown up later. And a lot of people that went very slow in the beginning eventually catch up. You know, you get the tortoise sort of thing where it's a slow mover, but ultimately gets there. So when it comes to these things, and you can use this in your daily trading or you can use this in every single month, it's about understanding what you want on your portfolio for the month and building the whole structure. And when it comes, you stick to it very cleanly. So again, I look at the competition and I'm like, okay, I've seen a lot of guys blow up very quickly. So here, just an example. I'm not saying you're a bad trader. Maybe you're kicking ass, like amazing. But let's quickly reset over here and let me show you this exact sort of thing. There we go. You already got someone on 128% at the moment. So if you're listening, well done. You're doing good at the moment. But what happens here is they start to get really excited and really greedy when it comes to this. This is obviously a high leverage position. This is a 10-20x position that's done 1 or 2% now, and now put you in the top of the range. Okay. The problem is if you stay, and if you're listening out there, if you stay on 20x, it means this, you're going to get big growth, but one loss that you take is going to wipe you out very quickly down to the bottom. So you're going to be able to get to 1,000% really quickly, but ultimately, if you don't slow down. So for anyone that is watching that, remember, this is Banter Team. I want Banter Team to kick ass out there. This is this strategy over here. Okay, which is basically you come out hot. And then it is you basically start on a 10, 20. Remember, I never start exactly on a 20. I will build my position up to that, but I need my stop loss above entry to keep building. But I would build this a big position of a 10, 20x, get that big percentage boost of maybe 100, 200, 300%. And then it gets to a point over here where I'll switch to a 3x and I'll just trade slowly for the rest of the competition. The problem is a lot of the guys will just go. Now let me show you again what that basically means when you go. And I got one chart that will probably give you the exact explanation of what happens when you do that. And it's called 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬, right? So let's jump onto 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 over here and let me show you. This is why you got to look at everything you do in life and everything you understand. You got to look at everything as a chart. Let's just see, where's my other 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 one over here? There we go. Cool. Okay. What happens when a token just goes up? Okay. So this is your trading. If you're a trading person, look at this. What happens? Boom, 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 boom. You don't slow down. You do the same thing. So you make insane gains. And what happens? It comes all the way back to zero. This is exactly what happens to the guys that go out hot and they don't change their strategy later. They basically go full blast to the upside over here, and then they get completely wiped all the way back down to the downside. So you got to realize that. You got to understand that. Therefore, if you get this big boost over here, you want to slow down and you want to become a lot more conservative. So it all comes down to these big sort of strategies. Now I jump back to the next one over here. Is you got basically the tortoise mechanism or strategy over here. Where you jump to a 3 to a 5x and you just trade consistently for 5-10% moves throughout the whole competition. And slowly over time, you start to build a decent P&L. I don't think you win with the strategy, to be honest, but I think you make money. And I think that's got to be priority one in this. It's about making money and not going into the negatives for the month. It's about proving to yourself that you can make cash. Something wrong with audio. Something wrong with audio. Let me switch audio then quick over here. And let's see. This better. Okay, better. Sorry, guys. That's obviously why we're dropping off on viewers here. Okay, cool. So a bit of a problem with audio there. I do apologize. So jumping back over here, you got the tortoise race. Again, main priority of this month is to make money. That's the big thing, to make money. And second priority, yes, maybe you win or anything like that. So I do apologize about the sound, guys. All sorted now. And then what you have over here is the third strategy. And this for me is a one direction market strategy. So these two over here, they strategies that work really well, but it does mean it's longing and shorting, because sometimes the markets are going to be ready for longs, sometimes they're going to be ready for shorts. And you basically got to trade either way the market goes when that basically happens, right? So that's these two strategies over here. Then what you have is this strategy here, which is a one directional strategy, where basically if it's longs, you will take the longs, then the market's red for a few days, no trading at all. Then it's longs, no trading at all, and basically one directional move when things come. So you got to really look at this in any single month that goes forward. You got to be like, okay, what is the strategy that I'm choosing for the month? Now, remember, guys, when it comes to school and things like that, I teach you a lot of things as in building businesses. I teach you these things. I teach you that you need to have your business, the purpose of that business, you need to create the business. Therefore, I'm starting this competition with 2,500, and I want to basically build it at a 3,000%. That's my roadmap. Okay, my roadmap is try attempt 3,000% within this competition. Okay, so I built this. Guys, we just comment on sound. Why? Sorry, guys. If there is small problems with sound, I do apologize. We will get it rectified. Is it fine? Is it better? Is it better? Is it better? Hello. Sound is bad. Why? Sound issues. Still, do you want to take over here and just you're on mute, Dill. You're on mute.
Dill, you just unmute there.
We can hear you. Yeah, Sheldon, we can hear you. It was just crackling a little bit. But all's good. Yeah, they can. Okay, while we wait for Sheldon to jump back, MDX had some interesting points about, BTC staying on this level, looking for a possible bounce on that area. So if we make the assumption that BTC is sitting on this massive support, and, like he said, he's expecting some kind of move up, we can then tie that BTC level into our altcoins. So I'm going to show you guys some of these alts that I'm looking at while we wait for Sheldon. This is AVAX. So I jumped into AVAX a little bit prematurely. I jumped into this one on Saturday, and it's part of this Bybit competition trade. So I'm hoping somehow it's going to count. But those of you that follow me on the lives that we do every afternoon, I've been going on about AVAX at this 12.3 level for probably 2 or 3 weeks now. And finally, they came down and they hit us on pretty much 12.3. So I've jumped in there on AVAX, and for the time being, I'm just going to ride this thing. My support level that I'm watching is now this 12.3. So I'm going to hold this AVAX. My assumption is BTC bounces. We need to make it an assumption here as to how we're seeing the market.
So it's better.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Oh, good. Okay,
crystal clear. So just finishing this AVAX setup. Jumped on this. This is my support now, 12.3. I don't have a reason to exit this one yet. I'm going to let it ride. I jumped on this one a bit prematurely, Sheldon. I don't know how it's going to work in the tournament, but it's in my Bybit account running now. So these are sort of targets I'm looking at for AVAX for me currently. But we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's
cool. Well, I think I'm going to bring you back now. Then we can go crazy on the trades. I think let me just quickly get back to. Thanks, Doe. Thanks for covering ship. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, let's go over here. Let's get quickly back into this just so we can get back to where we're at. So just confirming it's all good. Yeah, so again, guys, it comes down to how are you trading this month? Secondly, what you're doing is you're building a business, a roadmap. A lot of people are going to think, okay, I want to make 1,000, 2,000%. It doesn't work like that. The way it works is you take your money and you work this doubling mechanism. Okay, so for me, if I'm starting with 1,000, amazing. My first goal, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. And if I do 5 steps, I got a ridiculous P&L. Okay, and that's what it comes down to. So again, I look at this month now and I got to understand this. So the first step, this is where it gets really interesting when it comes to the competition. The first step is to get my 500, let's say, to 1,000, right? And if I do so, I'm on 100%. Then I stop. Profits bank. Okay, sweet. Step 1 complete. Amazing. Step 2, get 1,000 to 2,000. Look what happens to P&L. From 100% on the first one, by me just focusing on getting step 1 complete, I'm on 100. If I go from step 1 to step 2, my P&L is on 400. If I go from step 2 to step 3, I'm on 800. Step 3 to step 4, 1,600. And there's supposed to be one more step over here at 16K. And all of a sudden, I'm on 3,200%. So what you're basically doing is you're creating the bite-sized formation, and you're creating step for step. Therefore, all you have to do per trade and per day that you're trading is focus on the step that you are on and what you got to accumulate in that step. Now, in order to understand that, you got to understand your position sizes. You got to understand what you need. If you're taking leverage, what percentage do you need to double? And is there 1 or 2 trades in that sequence to get you there? But here we go. If you put in $500 and you put it on a 10x, you're actually paying with $5,000. You've borrowed 10 times the amount of money that you actually have. Okay. Therefore, if I'm paying with a $5,000 account with my position size, with the leverage that I'm taking, I need to make $500 from that, right? Therefore, I need a 10% move on the charts, 10% move from the token. If I get a 10% move, I make my $500 and my step 1 from 500 to 1,000 is complete. Amazing. Now I go back over there and I'm like, okay, now I'm on $1,000. And if I'm on 1,000 on 10x, it means I'm on a $10,000 position. How much of this $10,000, what percentage do I need? I need 10%. Now, guys, you can adjust this. If you want to be more conservative, no problem. You're on a 3x, you're on a 5x. But be realistic about your percentages on how to get to your steps. So, for example, the way I play this is I want to try take 5 brilliant trades throughout this whole competition. Okay. Now, this means that it's basically 5 levels. Now, I may get stopped on 1 or 2 times per level. That doesn't matter. It's about getting the trade that I need to pass that level. Okay. Which means I'm deciding to do 10x positions and I want 5 trades throughout the whole competition. You may change this. You may say, I want a 5x over here or a 3x, and I'm going to take 3 trades to get from step 1 to step 2. You can decide. I'm fighting the entries on higher time frames to get 1 trade to get me there, 1 trade to get me there, 1 trade to get me there. If you want to take individual ones in between that, no problem. It's about understanding your position sizes, okay? Now I want to show you an example. Remember when I explained this in school? I said, guys, understand your time frames for the month. Why are you looking at all the time frames if you only need a certain amount? So when I looked at it, I'm like, I want 5 trades for the month, right? I want to make 5 trades. So firstly, I go look at my time frames and I'm like, what offers me this? Firstly, a 4-hour chart offers me 6 to 8 trades per month. 8-hour chart offers me 4 to 6 trades per month. Right now, I've removed the 12-hour, removed the daily, removed the 1 hour. These are the 2 that I'm focused on. Okay? The second thing that's very important is to understand which token am I choosing? So if I've chosen my time frame that I'm using for the month, and this is the only time frame that I'm using for this competition, because then I remove all the noise, right? I remove all the other indicators, all the other time frames. I got one time frame to focus on throughout the month. Amazing. What's the next thing I need to choose? The token. What token am I going to trade? Is there one or two tokens? Like which one? Because don't make this up. The biggest mistake that people make in trading is they jump on and they're like, let me trade this token. You've never traded it. You've never charted it. How are you going to be good at it? You want to jump in a Ferrari and you want to beat the best lap time? No, but be in that Ferrari for a week, 2 weeks, learn it, understand it. You'll have a pretty decent lap time by the time you did that. But if you just jump into the car, how are you going to get good, right? So therefore, why, if you watched my shows over the last, a few weeks, I've been speaking about Doge, Solana, these sort of tokens. So what I did is I'm like, okay, why do I like those tokens? And I spoke to it when MDX was on the thing that they give me the percentages that I need. Okay. So what I did over here, let's go jump to Solana for a second and let's go look at, let's go look at the last month, right? And what I do is I pop on my 8-hour chart as that's the time frame that I want. And you see the RSI, every time it's at the top, right at the top, above 90%. And whenever it's at the bottom, it gives me an indication of when I was looking for shorts, when I was looking for longs, shorts, longs, shorts, longs, shorts. Decent. Now we're getting at the top again. Okay. So I looked at this and I'm like, okay, so what did it do in the last month? Let's go look at the areas of July. It basically gave me 7 trades, plus minus 7 trades. Okay. And if I took the percentage of each long and short, it's giving me an average of 15 to 18% per trade. Now I'm like, okay, so on the 8-hour chart, it's giving me the amount of trades that I'm looking for my structure for the month. And it's offering me the percentage. So now I'm like, okay, I look at this and I look at Doge and they're offering me the very similar thing. I'm trading Solana and Doge for this competition on the 8-hour chart. And therefore I jump back to my planning and I'm like, okay, now I'll go look at that. And this is what I need to do. That's my position sizes. That's what I need to do. I got my tokens. So here we go. I got my tokens. And then what do I do? Now I'm like, okay, so I got my tokens, I got my time frame, I got my roadmap, I got everything into play. What do I need to know next? Do you see how I teach this in school, guys? It's the whole mechanism of how you make money. It's all of this work behind that's the preparation of your success. Okay? How many of you guys do this? Be honest. How many of you do all of this? I'm telling you, if you do all of this, you're a successful trader. If you don't do it, you're not. It's because you're a loose cannon. It's basically gambling, right? There's no planning. So what's the next thing over here? The next thing, again, is the direction of the market. Guys, this market right now is going up and down. Up and down, right? It's very simple. It's the only way the markets can really go. And sometimes it's going sideways. So therefore, I'm like, okay, I got my time frame, I got my token, I got my range, I got everything into play. What do I need to prepare myself for? I need to prepare for the directional of the markets, how to trade either way it might be offering me. There we go. Either going to be in an uptrend, a downtrend, or a sideways trend. And it's going to be either one of them at any moment along this competition. So if it is in an uptrend, how am I buying? What am I buying? When am I buying? Okay, cool. Here's my sequence. If my golden zone is hit, if I have a horizontal support, my RSI is at the bottom, and I've broken trend, my risk to reward's good, I can go long. If I'm in the long, I'm in profits, and we get to the golden zone on the upside, there's a resistance, my RSI is at the top, I take profits. Very simple. Okay, no, market starts to tank now. Okay, cool. Here we go. How do I buy when the market tanks? Horizontal support, break a trend, oversold RSI. How do I short? Golden zone. Horizontal resistance, RSI at the top, break of trend. That's when I short. Amazing. Let's say we go sideways. What happens if we go sideways? Okay, cool. I buy the range lows, stop loss under previous lows. My RSI must be at the bottom and it must be breaking trend. So you see what I've done? I haven't just jumped into this competition and be like, okay, cool. No, I've got a roadmap of exactly the way I want to do it. I've chosen the tokens, I've chosen the time frame, and now what I'm doing is I'm creating my 5-step methods for each way the direction of the market moves. I don't want to hear any excuse that the market starts dumping now that we're not making money, because you got to have this preparation in order and to have this stuff set up. Just click back on here so that you can trade any single one of them, right? And now if all 5 of these things tick, I can take the long because my risk to reward's good. If there's only 1, 2 ticking, I don't take the long. The tortoise method, guys. Now remember, when I go back here to the time frames, I've already set myself up that right now that I'm probably going to trade every 3 days. 3 to 4 days is what I'm trading this entire competition. Why? Because I need every single one of my checklists to be hit in order to do that. And the 8 hour only offers me a trade every 3 to 4 days. So now I'm like, okay, great. I don't have to day trade this whole thing. I don't have to do any of these things. I can only trade, like if we go look at the 8 hour now, we shall see if all the other indicators are imprinting the same thing. But at the moment, small little push at the moment. I want to get my little rust going. But technically on this next little push up in Solana, I must possibly be looking for a short. The only thing is, it's not at 618. Here we go. It's not at 618. So I only got one thing telling me now. But if price goes up over here and RSI keeps going up and we get here, what do you have? You have this, you have the 618, you have a horizontal resistance, perfect. You'll have your RSI still sitting at the top, which is great. And you'll have a trend line that's tracking it up and it will break. Let's just make that nice and bigger. There we go. Now all of a sudden we break this trend line. So price now, so now I'm not shorting. I'm not shorting just yet because I only have one indication telling me to short. That's not my 5-step check system. It's not right, okay? But let's say this goes here now. RSI, boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden we crack. Boom. Perfect. I have literally 5 things pointing there. So this is where my spot will be. Do you see how it creates a lot more patience? To be like, yes, it may look a little bit weak now, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet, you know. But if it's here, that's the spot to wait for. And guess what? Let's say that doesn't play out now. Let's say it doesn't go there. Okay, cool. I never had 5 things but my 5 things weren't telling me to take the short. I'm not taking the short. Let's say price goes down now. Price goes down. Let's just redo that. Price goes down over here. It goes to 618, which will be here. There's a horizontal support. RSI is at the bottom, turning up. I'd rather wait for the long because I'll have all 5 things ticking over here to take it. It's about being consistent and only trading when all 5 of your, or all 4 or 5 of your indicators are saying you must trade it. Slowing down to speed up. Understanding the process and understanding that. So I don't care if you're in this competition or not, you take it serious or not. It's about understanding the power of money and all the pre-planning. This is how you trade. So if you guys are in school and you start to jump on these things today, you're going to see my whole step method of how this basically works. How I track my trading journal, all these sort of things to come into play. Because as you could see, once this is all done, my direction of the market, everything's sweet. Now what do I have? I have my rule system. If I get stopped 2 to 3 times, I have to take a break. Boom, done. If I win big, I have to take a break. Boom, done. This is the things that are going to protect me against my own emotions. I'm a robot, so I need to make this. I have a trading journal to see where I'm screwing up. If I got stopped 3 times, there's a problem. I'm putting my stop loss in the wrong place. So my trading journal is going to tell me, hey, dummy, you're bumping your head on the same wall. Same wall every single time. So stop doing that. Let's tweak it. And I tweak it, and I tweak it, and I tweak it, and I get it to where it needs to be. And again, I have the trading team. I have the whole team right here in the office right now. I have everyone here right now. And they all here to keep me mentally focused, and I'm there to keep them mentally focused on their goal, on their plan. Therefore, this whole roadmap and this plan that I've explained now, they all know it so that they can keep me in play. So guys, it's not just about, oh, Banter's entering this Bybit competition, oh, another competition. No, it's about us coming together and actually putting everything I've taught through school, everything I've ever taught you guys on this channel, putting it into action. And us finally taking the step and actually knowing that it's not that easy to make money. Stop thinking that it's like this. But the day you learn the skill, it does become a lot easier. And you got to basically think of life and trading and everything the exact same way. The way life works, the way trading works is a step-for-step method. You know, the way that I've taught it. But the way your steps look is like this. That's how it looks. Your biggest step is your first step. From that, it gets smaller. Everyone says rich get richer. No, it gets easier. Your steps get smaller as you pass. This is why the rich will keep making money. Everything goes. You are here. If you are here right now, work your ass off this month and finally crack it. Finally become the person that runs their own money and knows what the hell they're doing. Someone that pre-plans their months. Someone that actually has this stuff and gives a shit about their portfolio, that they actually do this. If you don't do this on your portfolio, you don't care about your portfolio. You don't care about your money. Because a real boss would make sure that there's structures and things in play to protect your money. Stop being the boss. Stop being the CEO. Stop making that every single trade that you take actually has a system. It doesn't matter if the market goes up, down, or sideways. You know how to act on it. You know when to grow it. You know when to shift it. Very simple. Start using this as a way of really becoming in charge of yourself and understanding who you need to be. And that's exactly it. So again, guys, use the excitement from my voice right now. Use the excitement from my energy right now to stop being afraid and start taking charge of everything that you need to be. Very important. Okay. Let's jump back into the charts. Let's get Dill on here. Let's go. Dill, what are you saying, brother?
Jesus, bro, I'm scared now. Eh? You shut everyone out. That was a good lecture, though. It was a good lecture. I want to focus
very important,
now.
very important. Like for me, it's like let's get this out in the beginning. Let's get roadmap and let's trade. Let's trade this bad boy.
So I'm looking at a few. Obviously, you know, when we're trading, we need to make assumptions, especially for what I do with my style and how I trade. And for those of you that sit in these lives with the school that sit with me, you'll see I prefer the 4 hour. I prefer the daily, 8 hour type setups. And I'm big on a good level. For me, trends are sort of secondary areas that I look at for myself, for what I'm looking for. So, I need to make an assumption. Is BTC holding on to this 28K region? If so, then my levels are in play. If BTC is going to lose that 28, that's another discussion, and we need to look for shorts or we need to look for longs at lower levels. So right now, I'm just picking good areas. This is not what I wanted to show you sort of off the bat. The first one was AVAX, 618 horizontal. It made sense to me. Horizontal, it was a buy here. It goes. Next one was Render. If we zoom out, I've been going on about this area for ages as well. This 1.65 sort of region. So, for me, it made sense. It was a bounce area for Render. So the assumption here is BTC holds the 28 and we now have a short-term sort of push back up. Short-term as in a day or 3, perhaps a little bit longer. So, you obviously have to pick a side. I don't know where you're seeing Render, bro, but, I like it down here for a little move. I've always maintained if it hit this area, I was going to be long Render. And, worst case, just to this sort of zone here, this 1.7 sort of region for me. So, that's what I'm watching there in Render. Then we've got a few interesting ones, like Theta. A lot of these haven't come down into my preferred zones where I was looking for a bounce. So now we got this interesting situation where, we might have a short-term move up. If so, how do we gauge where that is or how long it's going to be? So, Theta, I've created a little wedge here that you can see we could possibly be playing in. So, if there's a bounce here in this zone with the market, we'll look at somewhere around here. I would say this sort of area, and then I want to actually see Theta come back down to the 618 for the real long that we're waiting for. Same thing with something like Link that I'm playing around with. I've created this little wedge. Link's bounced off a 382 fib, which is perfectly great area to bounce. We use it a lot in bullish conditions. But what I did notice is slightly lower down. I got the 200-day MA that's been staring us in the face since January. We've had these alts popping off this 200-day and rejecting off the 200-day the whole year. So, I would love to see Link, for example, just push up here, reject, and come back down into this zone where we get the real long, that I'm looking for. And I think that would tie in with BTC pushing up a little bit and then rejecting down to this 28, but holding that area. So that's sort of my plan on Link. We've got another one on, let's got to figure out which one it is. Uni. So, we identified this short a couple of days ago. I think it was last week, into a 786. It had a false push. It was linked to the CRV situation, the 𝗪𝗡 situation. Anyway, Uni was pumped artificially, in our opinion. It's now lost this area. My next zone for a long on Uni, which I'm loving, is this 200-day MA, this horizontal area down here. I've also got an order block sitting in this region too, if you look over there. So I'm expecting a bounce here on Uni. But for me, entry in this box, and that's my assumption, BTC is holding this area. If you believe that BTC is not going to hold the area, then you shouldn't be buying in these areas. It's entirely up to you. This is the assumption I'm making for my strategy, obviously. So, Uni is one I like down there. 𝗪𝗁𝗓𝗄, you've seen gaming tokens are coming back. We're playing just simple horizontal bounce here. How cool was this? Simple horizontal area. Now I'm tracking this top of this channel up here, anything around there for me. And then I'm looking at a rejection, and then we'll look maybe down at these areas again. So possible short brewing for something like 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗄 if we get a nice aggressive push here. Gala is an interesting one. I don't know what you've seen about this, but this thing absolutely ripped the last couple of days with this YGG. Now it's pulled back quite hard, but I'm eyeing this little 618 region. which is interesting to me. Possible, a bit of continuation here. Maybe we get a little bit more out of Gala. So, for those of you like a 618 sort of retracement, there it is there, potential move up there. Otherwise, back again, we look at support bars. BTC shows some weakness today, drops back. The next area, if you want to back that BTC is holding those areas, we're looking at the 618 again for a bounce. So that's sort of my strategy here for Gala.
Okay.
KAS, I mean, this thing keeps smashing me. I miss this thing every single time. I don't know how to deal with it. I know Craig likes this one. And I keep looking for an area where I can jump in and, catch the train here. But, I don't know when it ends.
Oh, that thing's just been rallying.
Yeah. So, for those of you that want to jump into KAS again, just exercise caution. This thing's been on an absolute tear this year. If you think there's more, maybe you want to jump in on the 236, possibly here a trend. We've got some horizontal there. We've got a 382 potential move. Bears, obviously, we're sitting at a resistance zone. Potential retracement coming there. So something to think about. But yeah, that's pretty much all of it in front of me. I've got Fetch, I've got AGIX pushing into resistance now. If we get that break of resistance, we've got trend and we've got horizontal.
Yeah, we should be getting some volatility soon. While we're on it here, quick, guys, I see we did hit the area we wanted for the iPhone. Quickly, give me a number. Let's look in the comments. Comment there. Let's give away an iPhone. Remember, if you go below and you register with our link under the competition, we are giving away iPhones every 50 people that we get. So we did hit the target this morning. So keep going and registering, and we'll be giving away more iPhones. Give me a number, guys. Give me a number. 1369. Okay. 1369. Here we go. So user, if this is your user ID on Bybit, 657-92512. So I'll highlight it. If that is yours, go below to the email and go below and you'll find the email address. Go email. Let's give away one more, guys. So if we look over here, let's see. We need 6 more people. 6 more people to register and I'll give away another iPhone. 6 more. 6 more. Let's go. Okay, bro. Let's see what's happening with the market right now. Thanks for all the updates, though. Let's stay on here and let's... So we basically got this wedge on Bitcoin at the moment. So here's this wedge. It's basically possibly implying that we do have a little bit more sideways until a direction is made. So I do think if we get to the end of this wedge at any point, I think we're going to get a little bit of a directional move. I know MDX spoke about the possibles there, and that's basically the move. So for me, any small little pushes now, small little trades at the moment, but I'm basically waiting for this wedge to break out here to see. Especially if we break the top, I'll maybe hold my Solana for a little bit longer. I'm literally running at like a 2% with leverage stop loss. So it's a very tiny stop loss position at the moment when it comes to that. But guys, if this market decides to go down, we got to be prepared for shorts. And that's what 𝗕𝗏 was speaking about. So be very aware that you look at Solana right now and you look at where it's at. Obviously very close to a really big sort of trend breakout to the upside, and that's possibly why I'm a little bit long now. But if we do reject it, it's very easy. It can come back down here, if not smash that. If Bitcoin does decide to,
we know really we've got Solana down there with the 200-day and the 50-day just a little bit lower there.
What level is the 200-day? Let's just see
pull
here.
That 200-day and the 50.
Let's just see here. We'll make this nice and light blue. So guys, these are going to be trading lounges. This is places you can pop on in the day and we trade. Okay, let's see if it comes up. See where we're at. Yeah, it's around 21, huh?
Yeah. So
2150. Yeah, just lower than support, so we can be prepared for that. Yeah, guys, the passion comes with, I give trade setups all the time, but it's not that. It's the pre-work that's needed from you guys. It's the planning, the understanding, being ahead. Again, you're the boss. You're the one in control. So stop blaming anyone else. Stop blaming me. Stop blaming anyone. We give you trades. We give you coins all the time. You got to be able to take that, put that in your system and go, no matter which way it does go. So you need to start looking at yourself as a higher position than just someone that takes other people's trades. You're not. You're actually the top of it. Okay, give me some coins, guys. Give me some coins. Theta. So let's go have a look at. Let's go look at Theta at the moment. It was getting smashed pretty hard, I think, at some point. Let's see. over here. There we go. So it cracked that. So for me, theta, shorter time frame at the moment. I still think higher time frames, you know, the 60 cents is a brilliant mark to $2 cost. Anywhere below that's really good. But for now, take your 618. So you take your Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, move over here, and it's basically indicating around 69. So if you go slightly zoomed in, you can put that trend into play. So that's sort of where I'm expecting it to come down to and possibly bounce, is this area here and to bounce. And this trend line over here will justify that. So if we come down and we do bounce here and we break the trend, amazing. That was a great buy.
Yeah,
so
that's the real long.
You know
that's the real long I spoke about.
Yeah, so the way you do it now, guys, is you literally look at all your coins right now, and you'd be like, okay, cool. So the ones that are looking good right now is possibly Doge, Solana. Okay, these are good. What would be good in the next few days, possibly? Now you put on Theta. Okay, it needs a bit more time. So in the next few days, let me look at Theta. Let me look at XRP, because that was one we spoke about earlier. XRP, amazing. So you see, you start jotting down to be like, okay, I'm on these coins now. Let me start charting the other ones on the ones that I can move to next. So you're not trading XRP now, but start charting it, because if you do get your Solana move and you get that big push to the upside and you get a successful trade, you're then going to move on to the next ones. But don't jump into the car that you've never driven. Get to the coin and you've already been charting XRP for a week, so that by the time you get there, you're warmed up, right? You're warmed up, and that's the big thing of understanding. So it's about taking these coins, and remember, you're trading this month for the sake of making money, not about the coin. Remove your emotions, remove your love. I don't care if you think XRP is going to 40 cents, or $40. I don't care. It's not about that. It's about what's offering what you need to make in the month. Super important. So keep jotting down these coins and ones that are showing good setups, ones that you understand. Find tokens that literally have many touches on the trend line. You know, many different touches. As an example over here, I just take Theta on its previous move. If I look at that, that was many touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, and therefore you would have caught that move over there. You would have made 20%. You know what I mean? So it's about finding the ones that are super obvious. Look at this, like Chainlink right now. At the moment, if I do look at it, we're not through that cross yet. Not so good. So I think Chainlink could be a possible good trade in the future, but for me right now, it's not my sexiest token right now to pay attention to.
I love it lower down. I love it around that 200 day.
Lower down. Let's get a few more tests. So let's say this goes up, test the trend line, test the trend line, boom. It's exactly what we're looking at. Okay, let's go through a few tokens here for you. So FTM, there's still that big zone. It hasn't moved just yet, but I do feel that this is an incredible zone. So for me as well, this is my next week token. I'm waiting for that trend to break over there. So I'm ready for it. I don't know if it'll move today, but I am definitely getting prepared for that one at any single moment. Tomo chain. I know a lot of people have been trading Tomo. I think I actually had it. It has been a pretty fun coin, I suppose. A lot of people have been having a lot of fun with it.
We've got a Tomo trader in our ranks. He focuses on.
Oh, there was my drawing a while back that I did do. So yeah, it's good. Just super volatile. I don't think it's the best token for the trading comp because it's just too volatile. Remember, guys, if you're going to be this, you may get one right with luck. Let's just bring this back. You may get it one right with luck. But if you do hit that luck, slow down and don't continue the same thing. You're going to lose. Like, you're going to go straight up. Just think of yourself, am I the 𝗵𝗵𝗄 chart or am I the Bitcoin chart? And the way you look at that is you go jump over here, let's say to Bitcoin. So let's go jump on Bitcoin here. Let's go to the weekly, right? And let's go on the logarithmic chart over here. Okay, let me just clear everything. Okay, over here, and let's jump to the monthly. This is how you want your trading journey to look. There we go. See, it goes up, cools down, goes up, cools down. Does this not look like the one strategy that I showed you, right? There we go. There's the strategy right over there. Think of yourself as a Bitcoin chart. Don't think as a 𝗵𝗵𝗄 chart. If you just come in high, you're gonna go to zero. Like, at some point, you're gonna get hit really hard at any moment. Think of yourself as this. This is consistent. This is why, therefore, Bitcoin should go back to the 100Ks at any moment. Like, this thing is just a machine. And because why it's a machine is because it does go through these cycles. You see this. You make money, you cool down. You make money, you cool down. You make money, you cool down. Therefore, what does it create? Consistency. Bitcoin has only but gone up since its creation. Why? Because it's got a consistent mechanism. It's got a consistent way of thinking, the consistent way of working together. And that's what makes the massive difference. So keep thinking about that. And if there's one thing that you can take from this whole entire journey on this competition, is about becoming consistent and really working on your pre-planning skills and where you're at the moment. Okay, guys, keep popping through. So Tomo, pretty good. I think for spot, it's good. I don't think any short-term trades at the moment. So I saw there was something with ApeCoin. Did it have a little heartbeat? Oh, it's so close, bro. We got to pay attention to this still. Look here.
Yeah, it actually popped the other day.
that.
There was some
Look
rough
at that.
candle there.
Oh, look at that, bro. This
look at
thing's
that
very
candle.
near. So keep eyes. This could be a banger trade. This could really be a banger trade. Even just to these resistances here, it's a big percent mover. So
Look at
we'll
look at
zoom
the
in on
current
this at the
12-hour
moment.
candle. Yeah,
But higher
Zoom in
time
on
frame,
that
it
thing.
looks really good. What? It's a doge.
that
doji.
12-hour candle's rough on Ape.
Yeah, it's a big level of breakout, right?
Mhm.
Look at that 4-hour. Look at that. So I'd give it a little bit more time just to form a little bit more structure here. But if we start to slow down here and we start to crack, I think it's going to be a great one. So it's either you basically got these two plays, right? At any moment, there's a violent move coming there. And maybe the next one even goes down to those lows. So big coin to focus on. That's a great long-term trend. So put it on. Right now, it doesn't make sense, right? Because if you take the trade, where are you going to put your stop loss? You're going to literally put an 8% stop loss.
No, that
on
candle's
leverage.
too big.
No,
You
it's gonna wipe
can't work with
you
it.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So even though it looks good, you need a little bit of better structure. So put it on your charts and get ready for that. Someone spoke about AVAX. Yeah, so AVAX does look pretty good. So I want to look for a very good trend. Nearly there. It's got a big resistance here. So I don't want to buy this at the moment. But if we do this, that's what I want to buy over there. So not yet, but in a few days, AVAX could be definitely one of the bigger ones to move at any moment.
What's your entry for AVAX? What are you seeing there? Am I gonna get
it's
smashed
basically
there?
exactly where we are. So I think it goes now
Okay,
to around 13.2, but then retest over here. Are you short?
I'm long AVAX at the bottom.
Yeah. I
Literally
think you
like
get a little
12.3
one.
or something.
Oh, nice. Is it good news?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully this can break. I'm just waiting for that. I'm late. I never got your entry. So I need to get a better entry when it comes to the AVAX positions. Something that got really smashed was Render. I know you spoke about it, but it definitely got smashed. It's losing the 200 daily.
Look, it hit an
I don't know
area that I
why.
liked. I mean, we identified this area a while back. So, I've been
Is it
going
618?
on about it for weeks. So I just thought best I enter there. It was mainly a horizontal zone for me.
Oh,
There was just
this
a
low
lot of
over here.
support
This one.
resistance there. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Okay. Let's give it a bit of
It was a
time. I hope it
bounce
does
area for
bounce.
me, yeah.
I hope it does bounce. Let's put that trend in. Yeah, so Render's still a while away. I wouldn't say it's crazy bearish yet. We'll pay attention to it, but it's still a while away until I think we get any crazy moves to the upside. The next one that I still paid attention to is this one over here, GRT. So if I looked at this 4-hour, this one's coiling up as well. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm finding all the best trends, best looking tokens at the moment, and I'm preparing when I'm going to fire them in at any moment. So for me, if I'm in Sol now and it doesn't do anything, let's say the markets go bullish and it doesn't give me what I want, I already have 3 or 4 other options that are offering me the same percentages that I can shift to at any moment. Let's go look at things like BCH, dinosaur coins, old age home coins, probably the most funnest coins right now. So let's clear up here from previous analysis. Wow, look at that, huh? Yeah, for me it's let's put this trend in and let's see. Yeah, it's back into trend, really struggling with the structure at the moment. So I think it's still great long term, but for me, shorter time frame, it's really hard to justify where I would enter and things like that. So was Shibu waking up on the weekend?
Yeah,
I right?
it did. It moved a little bit, yeah. And then I've got a possible short setup I'm looking at here that I can show you on XRP.
Yeah, today's about warm up. It's the one biggest thing that you can do today is to get all your structures in play. Because between today and tomorrow, there will be trades. There's definitely going to be trades. But for now, get all of your, if your other stuff's not in play, it's going to be a really hard
let's identify good areas now so you guys are ready, and prepped, and then you know what we're looking for.
Exactly. Shibu, yeah, tested 200, got rejected at the moment. So maybe coming, but not there just yet. I've put a little daily trend there. I think it's just going to come. It probably looks like the buys are really good at where it broke out. So probably another 3-4% down from where we're at the moment. Okay, cool. Let's see, where else are we looking at? Comp, obviously one of the bigger movers for the last few weeks. Quite a very volatile. For me, it's like I'm trading Doge, Solana, a lot of coins that are offering the same ranges. I'm not going too volatile in the market at the moment. So as things stand, this should be a similar sort of RS flip. Okay, it's lost that level. So it looks like 200-day. 200-day. So it says around 47. So not just yet for me, guys. I do think it has come down a little bit more. But when it comes to higher structure, higher high, higher low, and we should go chase the next target. So amazing. What else we got over here?
I've got one here for you.
What do you got?
I've got sushi. So sushi has been quietly just working its way up this.
Thinking about sushi, I need to eat. I'm like starving.
Look at this thing. Look at this weekly. So it's putting a lot of pressure here, and you can see today's candle, even this 12-hour, is it's pretty green, like compared to a lot of the other tokens, and just a little simple trend bounce here. So yeah, I mean, what I'm watching here, I'm looking for a break, obviously, and then some kind of pullback, and then a potential move to this zone. Yeah, this 0.9 sort of area. Because if you zoom out, look at this thing. It's a big weekly. It's a big weekly area. So it would be nice to go up and test that.
So a few guys, I don't know if you want to just look in the chat there, Dole. I'm just going to order lunch quick. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Maybe just go to the chat and just pop some coins there.
I see.
They're asking for
There's
Matic,
a lot on YGG.
Yeah.
So Matic and Dot I've got for you guys.
Guys, 2 more people for the competition. I give away another iPhone. Let's go.
So Matic and Dot pretty much look the same. They've effectively broken a trend, but it's hardly a break. I mean, it's a little sort of dribble out here. So for me, it's all about watching these levels now. When the market turns sort of more aggressive or more bullish, then they should start moving. But right now, they're very slow. So for me, Matic, watch the 618 here, this 0.65 level. If we lose that, BTC loses this 28 sort of region, then we're looking at the 786. But no fireworks here on Matic for me just yet. Not saying it won't, but right now you can see it's just trudging along here. Same as Dot. Nice little horizontal area. Hasn't reached that 618 yet, which is interesting for me. I'd like to see it come lower for that more sort of aggressive entry. So right now, I mean, you might see a setup like this where we get a little break and a push, but I'm not very keen on it. I'm really liking Dot sort of down here at 4.8. So keep your eyes on that. Maybe set an alert. There is technically a potential break coming now, but I prefer the 4.8 level. Let's take a look at this YGG. This thing has fired up the gaming tokens. Yeah. Craig, can I bring you on here? I want to talk about this thing with you. So let's just zoom out a little bit on.
I can just jump on Sheldon's one.
See where we
Easier.
are. Yeah, I know YGG is sort of an index for gaming tokens, and now we've seen Gala move, we've seen 𝗟𝗄𝗎 move, and I'm assuming it's all on the back of this YGG pump. Now let's just see if there's more in the tank for this thing. I'm just pulling a fib. I just want to see the typical rejection zone, guys, the 618 region. So this is your first sort of warning flag. Typical rejection area, and then let's look for a pullback zone. So if we're still bullish on YGG, let's look at some areas where we can remain bullish on it. Let's clean that. Okay, and then often on a massive move like this, we often bring in the 236 fib as well. Let's see if that ties in with anything.
Yeah, this has been a big move, eh?
Yeah, so obviously, guys, when you see these bullish moves, just be cautious. They do get pretty volatile. That's one region, the 236. If it remains bullish, perhaps going to hold this region. Then we're going to look at this 382. And we got a little bit of horizontal here. Okay, so Yeah, if you want to have a crack at this one, look for pullbacks into these solid areas.
So, Dill, one of them that's interesting to me is this, and I see someone made a comment on the side, is this API 13 or AP, yeah, it's API 3 or AP 3, I think it's API 3, because that had such a pump up to the 200-day, and looks like could have a good now short down.
Okay, let's take a look now. Okay, so guys, yeah, YGG, again, this thing's run hard, you know, just be careful with it. I mean, we saw KAS, whenever we thought KAS was going to turn around, it carried on going. So, but I mean, 272% moves, pretty serious. So just be careful there. If you're looking to jump on the train and you bullish on YGG still, just play it safe. Wait for these pullbacks into these zones. Play these like sort of high percentage areas first. Don't just ape in randomly. Craig, what was that token you're talking about?
API 3. So Theta high and it's pulling back. So I think it might have a good way to go come back still. I saw someone, Luigi, mentions it in the comments here.
Okay, I wonder what this is about.
Yeah.
What's
Okay,
the market cap on this thing?
Don't know, but that, if you put the 200-day, you'll see it went through it. Yeah. Okay, we come to the zone now, but that's definitely a lot of bullish sentiment on this coin. Let's see, rejection on 200-day.
Yeah, so I want to see, I like to see horizontals tying in nicely with these fibs, and I'm not getting that here at the moment. You can see there's quite a clear level here, but we don't have a fib tying in. So just be careful here, guys. Yeah, look, for me, this type of thing is not for me. I don't like to jump in randomly at places like this. All I've got for you here is some horizontal stuff. Let's see where the 50-day is. Yeah, it's lower down. So just exercise caution. You know, when they're selling like this, obviously it's something to pay attention to.
But definitely a lot of interest in that token. Yeah, maybe even that pullback, it could go back up. I mean, it's tested that 200 now for the first time for a long time, you know.
Look, I mean, often, guys, you know, resistance turns into support. So, you know, if you bullish on that, your first port of call would be this old SR flip here. So we've pumped up. Let's see if it holds here. I quite like this 50-day and the 618 here. And then this zone is obviously key. We've got horizontal and we've got the 786. I know nothing about this token. It's not something I trade. So just be careful here.
What else are people? H-bar, we haven't looked at that for a bit. I see.
Yeah, H-bar had a good run. Injective, yeah, guys, Injective's actually a very nice sign of where the market is at the moment. Like, choppy, it's flat, you know, you're a little bit up, a little bit down, getting stopped. You know, it's been tough out there. All I've got for Injective is this very tight range. So, I mean, right now we're playing in this 4% area. If you are bullish on the market, you think things are going to push on, then best way to handle Injective is to buy these deep pullbacks here. Anything down into this sort of region. You know, if you get these little wicks down, you can try and accumulate. We don't know when it's going to pop, obviously. But if we zoom out a little bit, there's a key area down here that I've identified, the 618. So this was a while back. Let's see there. So, yeah, might be something down here, a trend. Let's see where our MAs are. 200 days, nowhere to be seen. 50-day up there. So, yeah, there's quite a lot to do here. You know, we got the 618, we got this 200-day way down. So, yeah, loss of this level for me, guys. Look at trend. Look at the 618 down here at 7. I think we'll get a nice reaction there. If not, we're hunting this 200-day, which has got some horizontals here with it as well. So something to watch down in that area. Anyway, sort of in that region. Could be something to look at. That's that box down there.
Amazing, bro. So it looks like we kind of just need some volatility. So remember, guys, we're back on in 2 hours on the. So I think the big thing we got to show, guys, is if you go to Discord, you'll see we have a whole competition group. So when I'm taking trades on here, you're going to see them here. But then when I'm trading, because I'm trading a lot offline as well. And that's where all the updates are going to be from Dill, from me, from a lot of us there. You're going to see my spreadsheets. You're going to see the trades I'm taking, the tracking, all of these sort of things. So make sure you are on our Discord. Go below.
Let me show you quickly, guys. Can I show you quick,
Yeah,
Sheldon?
Show us.
Here's So we've created a World Series of Trading section in the Discord. So, you know, if you click on this tab here, World Series of Trading, click join the team. You're going to hit this join the team area. You're going to put in your UID, and that should link you to the team. And then it will give you access to the competition, the trades. We're going to be dropping strategies in there. We might run some live shows in here. So yeah, lots to look forward to. We haven't done anything yet, so it's going to start coming in now today, guys. So join and then get onto this Discord. And then obviously we got the normal stuff we're posting all the time under Sniper Setups. We got these charts every day. They're getting updated. So all these charts that you see me talking about, I'm putting in the Discord. It's all for you guys. VIP access, you know, there's ideas, there's levels, there's all sorts going on here, guys. So the quicker you get into this, the better, you know, and it's going to help your trading, you know, use the levels, use the ideas. You're going to see what's in here. Okay,
amazing.
That's yeah. Hope to see you.
Thank
guys
you, brother. I see at the moment our squad is 4th. So let's go, guys. Anything I can help you with, pop in the comments of this video, so I can help you guys wherever I can to structurally. I don't want the team. Yes, I'm going to be trading myself. I just want the Banter team to do incredibly well. I just want you guys to succeed this month. So we're 4th at the moment. We have hit our area. So I'll give away another iPhone. Which number, guys? Which number?
You're asking me.
Okay.
You want a number?
No, wait, I'm busy looking at the thing here. Okay, I got 777. 777. Let's see over here. Let's get it over 777. So if you are 206-4348, let's just see over again. 206-4348. Here we go. Win yourself an iPhone. I think you have 24 hours or 48 hours to reclaim, send through. You've got to be a part of the competition and be using our links below. Okay, guys, we need some volatility. For now, I hold strong. We wait for some volatility, and we'll be getting lots of trades set up. So get yourself your structure in play. Get everything happening. Thanks, Dol. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow, live trading session again, like this. The day after as well, I'm doing a normal show on Thursday with Annie. We're going to be doing one together, and then on Friday again. So I'm going to be running a lot of these sessions, and it's basically a big trading month for us. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow, guys. Much love, Banter fam.